Welcome everyone to the Environment, Climate Change and Land Reform Committee's 30th meeting of 2020. Our first item today is consideration of a negative instrument, the Waste Miscellaneous Amendments Scotland Regulations 2020. So before we move on, I'd like to ask members if they have any comments to make in relation to this instrument, and I see that Mark Ruskell would like to make a comment. Mark.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks very much, convener. I'm really disappointed that this instrument's being brought to committee, effectively moving the ban on biodegradable municipal waste back 5 years to 2025. I'm not going to oppose this motion because I actually think where the government is at the moment was avoidable, but we're not in a position now. We don't have the infrastructure in place at local authority level or in the private sector to deal with this waste, and without pushing the ban back, all we would see is waste being shipped to England and a loss in landfill tax revenue. But I think there are massive questions about why we've got to this point, particularly given that we've got a climate emergency and we need to be taking every effort that we can to reduce emissions, including in the waste sector. So pushing this back 5 years is really unacceptable. And last year when the government announced this, the industry, the waste industry themselves said that the government had no long-term infrastructure investment plan for dealing with this biodegradable waste. So it really has been a failure on the part of government to really lead on this and ensure that we've got the infrastructure. Now we're in a very difficult position where that infrastructure simply isn't there to deal with the waste. So what I'd like to know is, what is going to change now in the next 5 years? Because we have in 2025 a new recycling target to aim for. In many ways, the work on wider recycling and dealing with biodegradable waste could be brought together and we could see real progress. But this isn't going to happen by accident. And if there's a failure of government to actually lead on this, ensure the right infrastructure is in place, we're going to be in the same position in 5 years' time, looking at trying to implement a ban on biodegradable waste, which can't be achieved because there simply isn't the kit to treat it in the first place. So we're not going to get there by accident. And what I'm anxious to find out now is, what are the government's plans to make sure that we are taking all this food waste and garden waste out of our rubbish streams and actually dealing with it in a way that can cut emissions and actually reduce landfill.
Thank you, Mark. And Liz Smith has a comment to make. Liz.
Yes, thank you, convener. I tend to agree with that. I think obviously there has been a circumstance where the delay is raising questions, and if it's the case that it's to do with the capacity of local authorities to treat the waste, then these are exactly the same local authorities that we had at the time when the target was set. But I think it would be appropriate, convener, to write to the Scottish Government just asking for clarity on what the delay has been, and particularly I think it'd be very helpful if we had a roadmap to tell us what the likely timescale would be for achieving the ambition. I mean, I certainly would support the instrument, but nonetheless I do have some questions about exactly why we've got to this place.
Thank you. And Finlay Carson.
Thank you, convener. I'd just like to echo the comments from our fellow committee members. It's indeed really disappointing that we have another example of the government having a really ambitious and commendable target, and yet again we've seen that target being missed. We hear regularly we need to go faster and further when it comes to tackling climate change and waste and so on, and we do have a general public out there who are ready to recycle, ready to do the right thing, and it's really disappointing the government have let us down on this. Let's hope this doesn't set a precedent and we see further delays on legislation to tackle climate change. So I agree, we need to write a strongly worded letter to the government to ask them to set out exactly how they're going to tackle this, because we see ourselves sitting here in a few months' time talking about the same thing with deposit return, with no infrastructure and actually how to deal with the waste that we keep on telling the public we're going to deal with. So I agree with fellow committee members.
Thank you. And Claudia Beamish?
Yes, thank you, convener. And I'm not going to repeat what others have said, but I will just reinforce it by saying that I think we should write to the government, and it is really important that there is an infrastructure plan set out by the government, which the local authorities are actually agreeing to. And I wonder if we might write to the Scottish Government asking them to consider having an incremental plan whereby it's not again in the years to come that this hasn't been met, because it is fundamental, as others have said, to our climate change plans. And I certainly don't want to be in a place where we're having to have sanctions for this, and you can't have sanctions for something that a local authority can't do anything about because there isn't the infrastructure. So it is chicken and egg, but both have got to be sorted. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues, and I don't see anyone else wanting to come in this, so your points are well made. I think that we do need clarity on, as Liz Smith put it, a roadmap to resolving this and where we're going to go. So if members are content, on behalf of the committee, I'll write a letter to the government making all the points that has been made today and get some more clarity on what the plans are for the future. So if members are content for that, thank you. Okay, our second item today is consideration of 3 notifications from the Scottish Government in relation to consent to UK statutory instruments, and they are the Animals, Aquatic, Animal Health and Seeds Amendment, EU Exit Regulations 2020, the Marketing of Seeds and Plant Propagating Material Qualifying Northern Ireland Goods, EU Exit Regulations 2020, and the Alien Species in Aquaculture, Animals, Aquatic, Animal Health, Seeds and Planting Material, Legislative Functions and Miscellaneous Provisions Amendment, EU Exit Regulations 2020. So members will recall that there is an agreed protocol between the Scottish Government and the Parliament in relation to instruments being made by the UK Government under powers in the European Union Withdrawal Act 2018, which relate to proposals within the legislative competence of the Scottish Parliament. The Scottish Government and the Parliament have agreed on a UK-wide approach to statutory instruments. And the committee has raised some queries with the Scottish Government in advance of this meeting, and we have received full responses to those. So ahead of this, are there any comments that members would like to make? No? Thank you. I'm not seeing anyone wanting to make any comments on this. So we'll consider in private whether or not to agree to approve the Scottish Government's proposal to consent to the provisions being made in the UK Parliament in UK statutory instruments. Thank you all. That concludes our meeting in public today. At our next meeting on the 17th of November, we'll take evidence in the Scottish Parliament's environmental performance and also consider more notifications from the Scottish Government in relation to EU exit related instruments as well as Scottish statutory instruments. That concludes our meeting in public. Thank you.